everybody. We got stories about a bicycle, about a motorcycle, and DC Street interviews headed your way. Paul, what happened with this bicycle?
So I was in the big city of Tyler, Texas today, sitting at a traffic light, minding my own business, and this guy, grown man, not a kid, grown man on a bicycle, comes charging through the intersection at the exact moment the turn arrow came on, and the guy in the very pretty, brand spanking new fire engine red Chevy Silverado took off to make the turn. And he smacked the guy on the bicycle right in the center of the grill and bounced him out into the middle of the intersection.
Oh God!
And it only took the truck only went 3 or 4 feet. It wasn't like, he had a running start. He was, the arrow came on and he went. And this guy who wasn't looking, I mean, he was, on his bike, probably doing 8 to 12 miles an hour. You know how they do like this when they ride.
Oh yeah!
He was getting it and wham, knocked
Oh.
him
So,
asshole over tea kettle.
did this intersection have a walk signal? Like, was
Yes,
the bike
it had
allowed
a
to?
walk signal. It had crosswalks, painted out in all four directions.
Right. So for
And
foot or
he
bike
came,
traffic.
so Sean, he came off the street and kind of came around the curb and into the crosswalk. So he'd be in the crosswalk. Well, that made him. The only thing that saved his life is it made him closer to the truck.
Yeah.
And the truck hit him in 2 or 3 feet, not 10 or 12 feet. You know.
Holy crap.
Oh yeah, and he just went blah 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 blah. And so I called 911, left them my name and number, and sure enough, about 45 minutes later, Tyler Police Department called me and said, "Hey, Mr. Gant, you were a witness to this thing," and I said, "Yeah." And I'm retired law enforcement. I can tell you exactly what happened because I remember all the details because I'm trained that way.
Yep.
And he goes, "This is really awesome." He said, "You're going to make my life easier." So I told him everything, and he goes, "Well, in your professional law enforcement opinion, was it the truck's fault or the bicyclist's fault?" I said, "It was the cyclist, 100%.
Right.
The dude wasn't looking where he was going. He trying to beat he thought it was all red. He didn't pay attention to the turn signal, and he did not pay attention, which I even knew, Sean, it was for blind people.
Yep.
It had the bop, bop,
Yep.
bop, and that horn was going off,
Oh
which
yeah,
meant
yeah.
don't go yet. And I even told the cop that. I said, "I'm sitting there listening to the horn going, dude." And he goes, "Man, this is awesome. Oh, you just made my life so much easier."
Right? Because when it all plays out, the truck did nothing wrong.
No.
This was one of those, and I'm sorry if he got hurt. I feel bad that whatever injuries he got, but
Yeah.
this is another case of those bicyclists we talk about
They
that
just
think
ignore
they
the
think they
everything.
own the road and
Yep.
that every motor
Yep.
vehicle, even 18 wheelers, are supposed to stop for them because they're biking.
Yeah.
It drives me fucking nuts. And I
Yep.
see, look, I see we have a lot of those like push button cross the county highway or cross the
Yeah,
state highway things.
you push the
And
button and yeah.
I'm totally okay and I'll stop. But when I see people just blow straight through them on their bike,
On their
And,
bike? Yeah.
and I watch no, listen, I watch other cars because they're not paying attention, they're in robot mode, driving to wherever they're driving,
Right.
and I see so many close calls,
Yeah.
and I was like, all you had to do was stop your bicycle, click the button, all
Yeah.
of a sudden the flashy lights come on,
Yeah.
and people do stop, because they don't wanna kill anybody.
No.
But no, you're full stream doing your 38 miles an hour on your bike,
Yeah.
going down the nature path, and you need to cross a state or local highway,
Yeah.
and you
And
just
that's what they
you
do.
don't
And
stop to
that's
even hit the thing, and then all of a
yeah,
sudden
it's
you're like,
terrible.
"Why did you not stop, Volkswagen? Why did I get launched 100 feet into the air?"
Yeah.
I
So, I when I was training on a bicycle for the police Olympics, I would find these big groups to ride with.
Yeah,
I do 20 miles a day on my own, but I do 100 miles on the weekend with a big group
yep,
because it was real popular in Florida at the time, right?
sure.
And so I'd go and ride with these guys, and they made me better because they made me stretch my legs out and get going faster than I would on my own. Where I'd be on my own, I'd be going 17, 18, on a steady RPM.
Yep.
But you ride with these boys, you're doing 19, 20, 21 miles an hour. And there would be, 15 to 20 in a group.
Yeah.
And those guys would not stop at any red light, any stop sign, anything. And so we were riding out in the country one day, and there were probably 5 or 6 guys on the other side of the yellow line trying to move up in the pack.
Sure.
And this Chevy Astro van came and just plowed into 5 of them. Just fucking plowed into them.
Well, again, you gotta look at that and go, "Who's at fault here?"
Right.
Right?
Yeah. So, a Chevy van's coming up over the hill. He comes down the hill and there's 5 guys in it. What are you going to do? I mean, there was no tire
Right, do
smoke.
do I do I
You know
roll
what I mean? There
myself
was
over
no,
into the ditch?
yeah, there was no, him slamming on the brakes. He just hit them full on. And,
Wow.
and 2 of the guys were literally hanging on to the bumper and their bodies were under the vehicle. And he went in the grass, you know, at least 50 yards.
Oh, yeah.
It's like 7 in the morning. We did our rides early in the morning and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And this guy's like, fuck, dude. He's an agricultural Mexican guy. His airbag goes off. He's trying to go to work in the grove to pick citrus and stuff. Had 8 or 9 people in the van. They're trying to go to work, and it was, oh, dude.
Well, I guess that's my frustration is because, bicyclists, it's remained popular. It's still a thing in cities, mostly liberal government cities, but what government isn't liberal, to be honest?
Sure.
Just keep expanding access to bicyclists.
Right.
And I mean, it is frustrating as hell if you are a motor vehicle operator.
Yeah.
You have to share the road with them. And
Sure.
and then they also these liberal governments, even in Republican areas, build all these beautiful paved trails
Bike trails. Oh,
on
yeah.
old railroad
Oh, yeah.
systems.
Yeah.
And you go, when can we please just put them on there? And they're
Yeah.
like, no, we own the road. You must wait for us. And you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, my doctor's appointment's in 5 minutes, and you guys are going 12 miles an hour.
I'm not waiting.
Get the
Yeah.
fuck out of here. If
Yeah.
that's the mentality of the driver, right?
Right. Of
And then
course
people
it is.
get hurt or people die.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't
So when
get
I was living in DC, or not in DC, but in what we call the North Capital Region. I was in Fairfax.
Yep.
They had literally a 3-lane path, not on the road. It wasn't, like just striped on the road. It was up here, above the road.
Oh, okay.
And dude, it was like 30, 40 bikes going into town to DC in the morning, and the middle lane was going the other way, and then the ultra left lane was for pedestrians, moms pushing their kids and all that kind of stuff. And it worked beautifully. It just worked beautifully. I'm averaging 18, 19 miles an hour going to work every day, wearing a suit on my
Sure.
bicycle, with a bunch of other dudes that are, doing that kind of thing. But it was purposely built for that. And it wasn't sharing the road.
Right.
It was they had done it, from Fairfax, Virginia into DC all the way to the monument if you wanted to.
Well, and that's where, cause I've done a lot of public works, transportation,
Oh,
construction.
yeah, that's right. Sure you have. Yeah.
And the stuff we've done, it just made intentionally made car traffic miserable. It's called what's the term we use? Oh, traffic easing. And the term traffic easing actually means to
Yeah.
make cars sit still
Yeah.
while the bus and the bikes go.
Yeah. We call
Traffic
it
easing,
traffic calming.
calming, yeah,
Yeah.
right. So,
Same thing.
but
Yeah.
you look at this and you go, wouldn't it have been easier if we just put an elevated track above this,
Yeah.
like Chicago has the elevated rail system?
Right.
And they're like, yeah, they do. And they won't tell you why, but you know why. It's political. We
Yeah.
want to make the cars stop.
Yeah.
We want the cars to stop because it's climate change and it's
We want to
bad.
teach them a lesson.
We're going to teach it right.
Yeah.
And
So in
all
the
the different,
meantime, while your 1978 Cadillac is sitting at a traffic light waiting on the bus and the bicycles, it has created more carbon footprint
yes.
than the bus has on its 10-hour daily run.
And
So,
it's got an oversized cam and that North Star motor, and it's just going groo, groo,
yeah.
groo, groo, groo. So I got to tell you this story. Friday, Putin was in Anchorage, and he once he met with Trump, he took a motorcade. I think he borrowed Trump's vehicles. Totally fine. He probably took the Beast too, in a motorcade, and he went to some burial grounds, some cemeteries in Alaska where Russian soldiers are buried from World War II, where they died in Alaska while
oh
Russians
yeah,
and Americans were
sure,
fighting,
yeah.
repelling
Which nobody talks about ever.
Japanese from
Yeah,
Alaska. And so he's laying rose. Well, hold on. Before he lays roses, he starts. They start. The motorcade pulls up. I believe he's in one of the multiple beasts there are, and all the Russian media is following him in black SUVs. They notice there is a guy in his driveway on the way to this cemetery that is working, or just he has the post World War II Russian made motorcycle out, and the news are like, "Holy crap! That's I don't know the name of the brand. It started with a U, Erla, maybe Erla." And so they're like, the media gets out of their cars because it's close to the cemetery where Putin's going, and they're like, "Wait, is that a?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's one of those." He goes, And they're like talking about it, and they're taking photos, and they're interviewing him. It gets Putin's attention. Putin
Right.
walks back with his security
Are
team
we talking about in Alaska?
in Alaska. Putin walks back with his security team, seeing what the commotion is, and spots the motorcycle. And he goes, "Hey, that's a." He recognizes the very, I don't know, it's post World War II, but
Yeah.
1950s. It starts with a U, the manufacturer, Russian. And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "But I'm having trouble getting parts because the manufacturing plant for this brand is now currently in Ukraine." So the
Yeah.
story breaks.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Story breaks. That
It's
was on a Friday.
a
Okay.
Ural. Ural.
Ural. Okay, Ural.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they specialize in motorcycles with sidecars. Yeah, the Urals have been around since World War II. Yeah.
Yes. So Putin actually spoke to the guy, and the guy says, "I'm just having trouble keeping it maintained because the manufacturers in
Oh, I can get parts. Yeah.
what is now in Ukraine." And Putin says, "Oh, all right, all right." And then he goes and does his thing. The media follows Putin. Goodbye. That's on Friday. On Tuesday, a brand new Ural, however you
Yeah.
pronounce it, shows up in this guy's driveway with a couple of Russian media.
No way.
Yeah, he gifted him a brand new one. I don't know how. It was probably sitting in a Russian dealership, but yeah, he had
Dude,
it shipped in.
my man.
He had it shipped over the weekend.
Yeah.
And again, you look at these stories of world leaders and go, which ones are the dictators? This guy just gave an Alaskan dude a brand new motorcycle because he appreciates
Yeah.
his post World War II motorcycle.
Motorcycle. Right. Yeah.
And now he's got a brand new one. Brand spanking new.
And those things are hugely popular in Alaska because of their hardiness, because they run all over Siberia and all that kind of stuff. And a Yamaha and a Honda and stuff, they get froze up and they can't run. Well, the Urals have always been that way because that's where they've always operated.
So what is it? Obviously, they can't run diesel if in the cold weather. So it's got to be what a is it a two stroke then, so that they
Yeah,
can
it's a
fire?
two-stroke. Yeah, with a mixed fuel.
But
Yep.
it's a street bike.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
And most of the ones they sell in the lower 48 are with a sidecar. They look exactly like a World
Wow.
War II military, OD green, with a couple of Russian soldiers and a sidecar. And yeah, but there's a market for those, and there's several Ural dealers around that do that. And India also produces a Ural.
Is it the same company?
I don't know if it's the same company, but uh,
Bike,
it's the
basically.
same bike, but they're produced in India.
Okay. Well, and so I looked at this story and you go, well, that feels good. But then I thought the president of Russia, Russia bad, just met a guy on the street
Just a street encounter.
in a
I got
very
you, boy.
rural
I'll hook
street
you up,
on the
bud.
way
Yeah,
to
yeah.
a cemetery.
And
And
that's what we would do, right?
yes,
I
that
could
is
see Trump
exactly what
going,
President Trump would do.
right.
And he has.
There's a guy in Finland that says, dude, I got a 1978 Harley Shovelhead and I can't get parts for it,
Right.
you know? And then Trump delivers him a 2026 Street Glide and goes, there
Right.
you go, my boy.
Well, that was the comparison that I wanted to make is that this sounds very much like the way Trump gifts things to
Of course it
people.
is. And that gives you the inside, it really gives you truly the inside skinny on Putin. He's not about reasserting the USSR. That's not in his interest. He wants his country, Russia, and only Russia, to have good trade with China and the US and India so he can make money to keep his country going.
Yeah.
That's what he wants. Everything else is a financial burden. He doesn't want to take over Estonia and Romania and Poland. You
Well,
know,
he
we
does,
are the ones
he
that
doesn't want
lied to
Poland.
him.
He doesn't
If
want
if
Poland to begin
everyone
with.
remembers, we are the ones that lied to him. The Charles Christensen in 1993 said definitively, we are not going one step western from where we are now in mainstream Europe.
Hmm.
And 90 days later, we're building bases in Romania, Poland, Estonia, all those places.
Finland.
And Putin's going, hold on, what? Wait, what? What are you doing?
And
You
he's
said you
been
weren't gonna.
patient. He's been patient with NATO as they built this out. Way too patient, if you ask me. But he also didn't want to start World War III in the late '90s and early 2000s.
But what I don't get, Sean, is the guys our age, like you and me, are running shit now.
Yeah.
Why? And I'm talking about NATO and the US. Why are they still adhering to that Cold War? We're going to surround USSR and keep them from expanding. Why are we still doing that mindset? That is no longer the right mindset, dude. It's all
No,
about trade and
I
commerce.
I agree. There's a like I said, there's a guy I listen to from noon to three on the radio because I don't have Rush to listen to, and I like the guy on most things. You know what makes you like a guy the most is when you don't agree with him on some stuff, and
Sure.
that's the way it should be. And
And when it should be. Yeah.
he believes Russia is totally trying to take over the whole of Europe, and he equates it to the way Islam is, if they can conquer Israel, they will then focus to the big Satan, America in the West. And I said, no, yeah, I've commented several times to him, Tony, you got this wrong. I said, Islam, you're right on. I
Yeah.
said, Putin's Russia, the Russian people, they have zero desire. All they're trying to do is drive back NATO. And in fact, they want NATO to just dissolve and they want to be part of the whole game. They want to be part of a security pact. They want to be part of trade. They
100%,
want to
dude.
play with the big kids.
And even their satellites, like Serbia and Bosnia and uh, Croatia,
Hmm.
they're like, we don't want to be aligned with Russia as an outcast. We want to be aligned with Russia as a trading partner who
Right.
is in good stead with the US and other
Well,
places.
and I think that's where people can't understand the confluence. I used a big word, 5 points. Is that this isn't being another superpower? Oh, I get 4 points.
Yeah.
This isn't being another superpower, or which they're only a superpower in the fact that they have a whole bunch of nuclear warheads. But it's they want to enter finally into global trade with the acceptance of the United States, and
Yeah.
make their country rich too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. That's all they want, and
That's
they
it.
want NATO to
It's not
stop
any more
trying to kill them.
complicated than that.
And the other thing is they want NATO to stop trying to kill them. And by killing them, that means through sanctions and
Yeah.
trade, and they're like, dude, get the fuck off our back. It was
Yeah.
96 when the USSR finally collapsed, about 9 months after the wall fell.
Yeah.
So it's been 34 years, whatever year that was. It's been 34 years. Cold War's over. Trump sees this. I think what's going to piss off a lot of influencers, right wing influencers, whatever, they can do whatever they do. They make money however they make it. Is going to be when they see that not only will Ukraine have a very successful trade deal if this war ends, but so will Russia.
Oh, 100%. Oh, yeah. 100%, dude. Yeah. And what's aggravating, Sean, is there are so many, and I'm not trying to be disparaging, but there are so many. I even hate to say low info voters. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know how to
but
say it.
I
It's
think
just
Rush made
so
the
many
term okay.
stupid motherfuckers that don't listen. They don't look at the whole picture, and they just go rah 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 rah, and that's all they do. And Lindsey Graham is one of them. That's that kind of person, if you know what I mean.
So Lindsey Graham, to me, knows all of the key facts and doesn't care because he's never had children, and he's willing to send your children to die in a war. I think what you were talking about is what Rush coined as the low-nos, low information, no information voters. Not that that meant they
Yeah,
weren't
yeah,
educated, capable, like first
yeah,
world educated, capable of doing work and
yeah.
having successful careers. They just didn't pay attention to
Right,
politics. And in this particular case, all they know is the war in Ukraine starting when Putin invaded. They don't know the whole backstory back to Victoria Nuland.
right.
And when you tell them that, then they call you a conspiracy theorist and a
Theorist.
right-wing maggot,
Right.
right? They're not even willing to
And that's
look.
their default.
They're not even.
And that's why they're never going to win again. Because they don't the blue dog Democrat is dead.
Sad.
The centrist Democrat is dead. And what troubles me is if there is more Gen Z than there is my generation. As long as there's enough of my generation that doesn't die, we're going to keep things, but
Actually,
Gen Z is going to vote for AOC, and they're going to vote
no.
for Namba Pamby Namba Namba in New
It
York.
looks like Gen Z has gone the absolute opposite direction,
Yeah.
and they're voting conservative. They're registering as Republicans. They're voting as conservative. They don't want anything to do with.
They were going the other way.
No. Oh, well, because there's a
Am I
bunch of
getting wrong info?
influencers on X and all the other social medias that make it seem like that's true. But when you look at the statistics and how they vote, they're Charlie Kirk Christian Republican voters.
Yeah.
They're Turning Point Action. I mean, they're like, we don't want dudes beating up chicks in our college sports.
Right.
We don't want that. We don't want that. And this is a generation, honestly, that is like, fuck it. We can vote. We're going to vote. And they're voting very conservative. And they're actually voting, unlike
Really?
college generations in whatever, the millennials, the
Yeah.
Ys, whatever generations were before the Zs, the Zoomers. Yeah, and they're very active. Very active.
Huh.
Yeah. No, I know it sounds surprising, but it's a
I am
turn.
surprised. I really am,
It's a
Sean. I'm
turn. It's
surprised.
it's a
Yeah.
turn because the college system used to capture people, and it did for, I don't know, since the 1950s, and turn them a very progressive left. And they're just the kids going to college now, that and the ones that have graduated up to like age 24. Think of what was our what oh, Angelo. He's 25,
Oh yeah.
and he's that generation. He's the very oldest of that generation. And think of
Dude.
the way he talks.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, all my friends from college they talk just like me. They vote just like me. They don't want anything to do with socialism.
Where is our boy Angelo?
I talked to him today. He
Oh,
did get
did
it.
you?
He got a new job. We're very happy for him.
Oh,
Yes.
good.
Yeah. So we'll have to see if we can get him on the podcast.
That's awesome. Yeah.
All right, let me. Oh yeah, I got it. Let me play this clip, and then we can talk about it.
Here in the heart of Washington, D.C., I'm hitting the streets to talk directly to the people who actually live here, the ones who deal with the city's crime and chaos every single day. Do you feel like President Trump's initiative to send in more police could be helpful for D.C. residents that don't live in safe areas?
Yes, I do. And I'm very appreciative of what Trump is doing. And I think everything that he's doing is helping D.C. as well as America.
At this point in my life, I think I'd rather move to another state.
How come?
Well, I've been shot 4 times, attacked so many times, I'm tired of it.
You were shot 4 times?
Shot 4 times in my life, yeah.
So it was
In
four
DC.
separate times.
Since I moved to D.C.,
Since you moved to D.C., you were shot 4 times.
yeah.
Residents expressed frustration with wealthy liberals, progressive protesters, and Democrat politicians that continue to say that Washington, D.C. is safe.
They don't have to deal with the crime in the other areas. They have better stores, better protection, police protection. This area right here, around here by Hecker Jamal, I wouldn't want my grandchildren to walk around here. They live in this area, not far.
So what's your message to President Trump if he sees this?
I love you and keep up the good work and thank you for all of what you're doing. God bless you.
I just want the police to do what they can for our country, for our city of D.C. So none of us young people don't have to live out the rest of our lives robbing and killing or God knows what, or end up in jail, dead, or drunk, or becoming a drunk at the liquor store or loitering.
The youth in D.C. need more governing. They need more policing, more programs. Put programs back in place.
Y'all keep talking about the youth. Where they going at? They don't got no rec centers. They don't got no playgrounds. They don't got nothing. They don't even got boxing teams no more, or football teams.
Boxing is the answer. I used to be a boxer. I was a 2-time Golden Gloves champion. They don't have a boxing gym here? Are you kidding me?
No, I'm saying they got them, but it's not like it was when we was coming up.
Wait, when they had mentors.
Yeah, they don't have nothing out here for youth, period.
I did recently hear about the woman being thrown in the trash can down the street, like a few months ago, and that was very concerning, especially because her age, she was a little bit older.
I got God. I got Jesus. He's my protector.
Do you think women are safe, single women?
Yes, if they have Jesus, that's all they need. Jesus is the way.
Well, get a lot of people off the streets, yeah, that'd be a good idea. There's a homeless problem, yeah.
We have to be protected. Other countries are protected. Why we can't be protected? You know, and the cities, people has gone crazy. Just let a man take over. Just Just, yeah, let Trump take over.
Okay,
Yes.
so you're for federalizing DC because you think that it will help the people here be more safe.
Yes, 100%.
Reporting for Lindell TV in Washington, D.C., I'm Kara Castronova.
So, what are your thoughts on first Kara and her street interviews, and then let's get into Trump trying to actually fight crime?
Yeah, I got no problem with it. Listen, I I think the only reason that the DC police have been ineffective is because of policy, not because of their training or their implementations of rules and things like that. The only reason is their hands are tied. And now listen, I got to tell you, I, I understand sending in the National Guard, but let me tell you something, man. The National Guard are not law enforcement officers.
Sure.
They're not law enforcement officers. They've got no idea about the use of force continuum. They've got no idea about interacting with people, and they just don't. That's not their mission. I would propose that we would take the National Guard because of the way things are in America now, and we would send them to law enforcement training because they're not just doing FEMA work. They're not just doing, water and food at a catastrophe site. Their role has expanded. So if you want them to help, like today, they arrested 66 people in DC. 66 in one day.
Yes.
And 6 of them were illegal immigrants with felony warrants on them in their home country.
Yes.
I think that could be 100 or better if the National Guard had law enforcement training.
So, do you think if we could add 8 weeks to National Guard Basic, they could learn at least the basic procedures for civil rights?
100%, Sean. You need to teach them use of force, the continuum for use of force, which is first is my presence, second is my conversation with you, third is I put my hands on you, fourth is I restrain you, and fifth is deadly force. They need to know those parts of the use of force continuum because you just can't stand there in a cami uniform and then expect to do law enforcement work, right?
Yeah, well, I wanna go deeper into that, but right now I'll tell you what we did in LA County and what we're doing with the National Guard in Washington D.C. Proper. I have looked into it, and they have absolutely limited powers. They are there to protect life and property, and they have detention power if necessary, and that the Capitol Police, if the National Guard detains somebody, the Capitol Police actually have to make the decision.
Yeah, they have to
Right.
come in and make the decision if that was the right thing to do.
Right.
And my view is that's not correct. We need to have our National Guard trained so that they can make that decision.
Well, don't you think if we give them that basic, I'm saying 8 weeks, train on civil rights and detention, the use of force continuum, that that's just the right thing for America to do right now, and it will be the right thing for America to do if we deploy them into we need to a police state, Venezuela, as we fight the drug war.
So we have 13 FLETC training centers, which is federal law enforcement training centers. We have 13 of them spread across the U.S. You could easily, for low cost, send regional soldiers, to those facilities and have them go through the 8-week training. And then those guys are certified and equipped and liability proofed that they can go and make an arrest and slap the absolute dog shit out of somebody that misbehaves and not get sued. Because the way it is now, you're just relying on luck. Dude, you're relying
Oh, they
on
are.
luck.
They absolutely are.
And one soldier loses his shit. And
Well, they're sitting about there with paintball guns, and that doesn't mean that they couldn't kill somebody because
Yeah.
they're trained to kill.
Yeah.
And so, and I get where, like, the left, where their fear is. You're sending the army after what they call peaceful protests, after violent protesters, after rioters. You're sending the army in after them.
That's
And I
right.
say, in my concern this whole time, you've known me a long time, and I've talked to you about this, is do they understand the civil rights process?
Right.
And do they understand the use of force continuum, even if they're taken, their firearms are taken from them and they get paintball guns?
Right.
And I can't answer that. I don't know if you can answer. You're going to say no, but that they have that knowledge base.
They don't.
But I would also say when a riot pops up, sometimes you just need some bodies built like the William Perry, the refrigerator, number 54 from the Chicago Bears, to grab 6 of them,
go in there and
just take them through the end
somebody.
zone.
And the way, though, so listen, Sean, what I'm saying is the way to get away with that legally is to have that soldier trained on those techniques. Right? He's got the training, he's got a certificate, he went through 6 or 8 weeks of law enforcement training. He used the use of force continuum. It got to this level, and then he speared him like a linebacker and said, "Put your hands behind your back, or I'm going to crush your nose inside of your mouth."
Right. Well, so I'm thinking this out. Should they also do 2 weeks at the fire training base? The National Guard, every National Guard.
I think,
because that 2 weeks.
No, listen, that's valid. So, what I do think is the National Guard does not overall get enough training. You take them boys called the Cajun Navy.
Oh God, yeah.
Them
Incredible
fuckers have
group.
more training
Incredible group.
than any National Guard. They know how to run a boat. They know how to run rescue. National Guard, they don't know how to do that. So I think that all the training that they can get is well deserved. I think they all need to know how to be a hose puller. I think they all need to know how to have an element of 18 Deltas that are EMTs that can do trauma like a 11 Bravo in the Army. Your regular infantryman can save the guy next to him because he's had basic trauma training. He's
Yeah.
not an EMT, but he knows how to, administer morphine and put a patch on a wound. And the National Guard needs to have that as well.
Well, that makes me think even farther because the United Cajun Navy has a current a live operation they're running. They're posting to their main account on X that they're searching for a young male's body in the bayou with fan boats, with drones, and with highly trained. They said, do not come down here. We have highly trained recovery experts that are diving. And
Yeah.
again, I go, what could
Yeah.
could a National Guard learn highly trained diving
Absolutely
expert
they could.
from the
They
Cajun
could.
Navy? Can we use the
Absolutely
private
they could.
sector to
Yep.
teach the public sector?
Right. Yeah. Absolutely
Right?
they could. Yeah.
So, and I
That
that's
is
where
their purpose. And they've always been, if I might say, they've always been slovenly. They've always been, the officers are a lot of times dentists and,
Mhm.
chiropractors, and they're just doing it to make a couple of extra bucks. Whereas in other countries, the National Guard is serious and they're seriously trained and they fucking know what to do. You're not going to get a National Guard that could do what a pararescue Air Force guy could do, rappel down a rope and grab somebody off the roof of a flooded building and load them up and bring them back up. Coast Guard does that, not the
Oh,
National Guard.
dude, Coast Guard is badass.
Of
A lot
course
of
they are.
look,
You
a
know
lot
the Coast Guard has the hardest basic training of any of our basic trainings.
I totally can imagine like, what flabbergasts me is that people think our Coast Guard, basically is just on a day cruise, and I'm like, "You have no idea
You got no idea, dude.
these MFers do." I
Yeah.
mean, like, look at some of that video that was out for years of them coming up on a rapid boat, jumping onto a submarine and pounding on the door and cough like you like people don't understand that Coast Guard is a part of it's a division of
Yeah.
our military,
It-
and they
it's
are dead
Department of
fucking
Homeland
serious
Security.
about
Yep.
what they do.
Yep.
I mean, dude, pounding on that submarine door, open the fuck up. Two guys pop out of the hatch and they've got long guns drawn on them,
Yeah.
and they stick their hands up, and and the Coast Guard's like, all stop, and then they don't understand, so somebody
Yeah.
says it in Spanish, all stop, and
Yeah.
they yell down the hatch, all stop, we're fucked. Right? And I don't remember how many tons of cocaine they seized that day, but Jesus, that was a great video. And people and I get it. Americans don't realize that our armed forces, active duty, including
Yeah.
the Coast Guard, our Coast Guard would be able to tangle with any Navy. Like, people think it's just the Coast Guard. It's not the Navy. No,
It's
no, no.
not.
Our Coast Guard can
Those
totally.
Coast Guard, especially the rescue swimmers, I would put them against any Navy SEAL.
Oh my God.
I would put them against any Navy SEAL. When I was on the DEA task force in Florida, we had Coast Guard. We used Coast Guard boats to do our interdiction and stuff. Every single one of them fucking dudes was hard as concrete. No doubt about it, dude. No doubt about it. It was crazy.
You got any high wave stories where they were just getting crushed by the waves doing a?
Oh, listen, we were chasing a boat one time, and me, two other DEA guys, two FBI guys, we're face down on the fucking deck. Just fucking we're puking on ourselves. We're just like this. And the Coast Guard guy, they're
oh Jesus.
Fucking it's the Atlantic. It's the Atlantic in August, man. It's not fun.
Right.
And it was so funny because the reason we caught the guys they were from Ecuador. The reason we caught them is because they were all face down on the deck and had the boat on autopilot. They were just like,
yeah, right. And the Coast Guard guys are like,
yeah, they're like,
yeah, they're just,
hey, we're gonna board your boat
at 80 knots too.
Yeah.
I mean, their swift boats are fucking fast.
Oh my God, dude. Those boats we had, you know what was the coolest thing about them? Is that you could go rope and turn the power off and put it in reverse, and them fuckers would bury the bow and go backwards and change direction.
Wow.
I mean, if you weren't hanging on, you're going off the fucking boat, no doubt.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it was just, and we're talking 280 foot. We're not talking a 40-foot Hatteras. We're talking a steel motherfucking boat going. Whoa, we're going.
Oh God, yeah, and they're fast as shit.
Oh yeah.
Man, I've seen videos of those motherfuckers turning on a dime at full 80 knots.
Yeah.
And they don't even list very much.
No.
They just fucking turn.
Yeah, they just turn.
Fucking turn.
Yeah. And all of us civilians are fucking
hold on to shit and throw it up.
Our guys are like, yeah, we're turning left.
They probably have better guts than F-16 pilots.
Oh, unbelievable. And the buddy, my colleague that I work with every day, his wife is a commander in the Coast Guard for Mayport, Florida. She runs the base, and she was a rescue swimmer. And they went on holiday the other day, and he texted me some pictures of them on holiday, and her in a bikini and stuff, and I'm like, I'm not going to say anything because you're my workmate, but god damn. Put quarters off of that fucking stomach, man. Holy shit, dude. Yeah. And she's almost 50, and she looks like 25. And he's like, that's all of Coast Guard.
It has to be.
Yeah, there's no chubby bunnies like in the Army. There's no chubbies like in the Air Force. They're like the Marine Corps. They're fucking
Don't you think that started, like, it wasn't that way until Obama? 2002?
Yeah,
no,
I would say.
Yes. 2008, Obama.
2008, yeah. Yep.
Well, I think everybody was still hard-bodied.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yep.
And that's when that started. And then it continued under Trump 1, but only because he was so busy dealing with other shit.
Yeah.
And then, did you see this really cool video of the Hegseth Bobby challenge that they wanted?
Oh my God! You're gonna do 50 chin ups and 100 push ups
In
and
under
about,
5.
what's his name? The transportation guy that's the Fox News wife.
Hegseth. Yeah, he's sec deaf.
No,
Hegseth,
not Hegseth. The Fox News, the girl, Hispanic girl.
Oh, yeah.
It's her husband who's now transportation.
Yeah, transportation sec.
Yeah. So Hegseth is on a TikTok and he goes, "Okay, son, I'm throwing down. You need to do 25 pull-ups and 100 push-ups.
Under 5 minutes."
And he goes, in under 5 minutes. He goes, "I understand you just did the SEAL team swim competition, but we're ready for you."
Dude, but look, I know Hegseth was he was over 5 by a little. Bobby at over 70 years old was over, but they did it on video. And what I'm getting at with these videos is young people are going to look at this and go, holy shit, I
Yeah,
want to do that. And they
that's
start
right.
doing push-ups and pull-ups
Yeah,
right now at 12 years old.
yeah,
I want to be an American badass,
yeah.
right? Which we
That is
lost.
so great. We needed
lost,
that so much in our life.
we lost that under starting with Clinton
Yeah,
all the way through until Trump. We lost that. You guys are American and you are the baddest motherfuckers on the planet.
ever. Yeah,
Nobody can fuck with you if you
yeah,
keep fit and keep your mind fit.
yeah,
The reason we win wars is because nobody can compete with us, not just physically, but also mentally. And
yeah,
we don't fight conventionally. We
yeah.
don't line up anymore and
Yeah,
just
line
wait
up
to
in red,
we
march
don't
in a
wait to
straight
shoot
line
the other
out in the
guy in
open.
the line
Yeah,
and then wait for them to shoot us. We don't fight conventional wars, and we stopped fighting them in the Revolution. We looked at the British, and they lined up in a line, and we were hiding in trees surrounding them, and we
yep,
fired on them, and we killed them. And the British who survived said, "Holy shit, I don't know how to deal with this."
right. Yep. And I gotta tell you, the uh, 82nd Airborne, particularly my son's unit,
Yep.
he's got 12 or 15 guys in his platoon. They have got, I swear, Sean, they've got so what kind of young man in America sets up a pull-up bar in their backyard? My
See?
son does.
See?
And he posts TikTok videos of him and his boys doing pull-ups, drinking beer. Pull-ups,
Yeah.
drinking beer. Doing that kind of stuff. There's some of them, not my son, but a couple of his buddies, they hang by their feet and they drink beer and do
Do a sit-up?
sit-ups, and
Yes.
stuff like that.
Well, in that we had a roughly 30 years, I'm gonna say, the feminist movement crushing that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it is back. But
Yeah.
I remember that from being 12 and 14 and
Yeah.
16. And then it died when I got to college in around 2000. Like
Right.
it died until Trump
Yeah.
too.
Yep.
So, all right, 25 years. 25 years of feminism just destroying the world.
Yeah.
That's
And that's all it did was destroy the world and
Oh, yeah.
feminize men.
look,
And I-
population is collapsing.
I am
nobody's dating. Like during that time. Now
Yeah.
all of a sudden, everyone wants to go out and have a good time and screw because there's masculine men again.
Yeah. And I consider myself lucky being in East Texas because that beta male shit didn't have a big effect here. Every once in a while, like at Sonic, There's a guy with gauges in his ears.
Yeah, whatever.
And
He's
you know,
poor.
his head's shaved on one side, and he's on roller skates and stuff.
He probably listened to the Sex Pistols.
Yeah. So, I don't go to Sonic anymore because of him. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. It's there's a couple of them around, but not like the rest of America, or certainly not like the blue cities.
It's the blue cities. Let's get into that Friday. There's a thing, Gavin Newsom. There's an account, and I can't verify if it's actually linked to Gavin Newsom, that is posting the most ridiculous shit. They posted in like a Trump-like voice that Gavin Newsom is going to destroy Trump by gerrymandering California and removing all Republican seats.
Yeah.
I'll get the post. I'll read the whole thing live Friday.
Yeah, let's do that Friday. That'll be fun.
I'll do that. Well, let's close this out. Do you have any closing monologue, or do you want to hear some smooth jazz?
No, just hear something.
Let's go. Thank you, Paul, for joining. I always appreciate having you. Best co-host I could possibly have.
My brother, love you, man. Talk to you later.